Greetings students, Mr. Torres here to show you how to create a Magic 8-Ball simulator using JavaScript. So the first place we want to go is to this website. You can just Google program is JavaScript compiler and make sure that it's this one, the first one. And then we'll want to make sure it says JavaScript over here on the left. All right. And this over here is where we're going to write our code. And you'll see there's already a short code that just displays a message that says try program is pro. So if we run the code, here is our output window, or also known as the console. So you may remember, or maybe I haven't taught you that the console.log is the command to send a message to the console, and our message has to be in quotes there. So our goal is to create a Magic 8-Ball simulator. Okay, and it should answer a question, a yes or no question, with a random response, right? Because that's how a real Magic 8-Ball responds. It's just randomly. So now these are comments, as I may have taught you already. If you use 2 slashes, you can add a comment. This is a comment, and this has no effect on the code. You'll know it's a comment if it's green. And so you'll see now the code does nothing. It just says code execution successful. So let's get started with our actual code then. So we want to first get the question from the user. That is going to be my first goal. Now, if you don't want to, you don't have to copy down these comments. You can just copy down the code if you want. So first get the question from the user. In order to get an input, the code in JavaScript is prompt, prompt. It's pretty simple. So now if I run the code, you'll notice, give it a second, it's sort of lagging. Let's refresh this here. Okay, now I gotta do that again. Let's try prompt. You'll notice now it is sort of waiting for a code. See, it waits for an input from the user. It doesn't matter what it is. Okay, but we want to add a message to that prompt. We should say enter a yes, no question. So now you'll notice I put this inside quotes, and so now when I run the prompt, enter yes, no question, I might say, should I travel to Eastern, I don't know, New York? And so now it doesn't do anything. We have to now provide a response. Okay, so to provide a response, we'll just want to use console.log. And then maybe we want to say a message. Okay, but we don't know yet what that message is going to be. It's got to be in quotes. For now, it's just going to say message, enter a yes, no question. Run that again. Am I cool? It's going to say just message. We don't want it to say message. We want it to say a different message depending on the random number or the randomness of the code. So we need to generate first a random number that's going to decide, okay, which message do we want to display? Let's just call it number. So we'll create a var. Remember, the command to create a variable is just var, V-A-R. Number, we'll call it equals, or let's call it random. Var random equals, and in order to generate a random number in JavaScript, you need to use the math class. So math dot random. This is going to generate a random number. Okay, why don't we go ahead and display that number just to make sure it's working. Console.log random. Oops, sorry, this should not be in quotes because this is the name of our variable. And now you'll see when I run the code, I type in my stuff, it's going to generate a random number. Okay, now the problem is this random number, with the math.random, generates a number between 0 and 1. You'll notice that it's a decimal. No matter how many times I run this, it's always going to be a decimal between 0 and 1. So to make it from, let's say we want 5 responses, to make it from 0 to 5, we're just going to multiply this by 5. And now you'll notice it's going to be a random number from 0 to 5. Okay? But we want this to be like an integer, right? That way we can check, for example, if a number equals 3 or a number equals 1, we'll give or random we called it. If random equals 1, we'll give it one message. We'll display one message. Random equals 1. So if random equals 1, and then I'm going to open my curly brackets and close my curly brackets. So I have open there, right there. That's next to the P, letter P on your keyboard. Hold Shift and type in those brackets. So if random equals 1, I'll want to display, so console.log. And I will now type in maybe a random response. So maybe I could say absolutely yes. Okay, but the one last step I have is that I don't want this number to be a decimal, right? Because a decimal, the odds that that is equal to exactly 1 are very low. So what I can do now is take this number and I'm going to put everything in parentheses. And I'm going to type over here, I'm going to type math.floor. And what that's going to do is take the number and it's going to basically get rid of the decimal. So now when I run it, you'll notice it's going to give me just a nice whole, even, or odd integer. And you'll notice if that number is 1, it's going to display a message. So see, since it said 1 there, it says absolutely yes. So what you should do is continue to add some other if statements. So else if, now if the random number equals 2, open and close curly brackets, then I should have a different message. So console.log maybe no way. All right, so now it has two possible outputs. Yes or no, should I bake a casserole? Okay, it says 3. I haven't written an if statement yet for 3, but I can continue to just copy and paste this else if statement for each number that I could possibly have. So 3, 4, actually there's going to be one for 0 as well. My number could possibly be 0. Random equals 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And it's actually never going to be 5 unless I change this to 6. I could change that to 6. So now each one of these I could program a different message, but of course this is for you guys to customize. Alright, so now I'll try a few different ones. Should I take up soccer? Absolutely, yes. Okay, y'all. So this is enough. So I'm off to start practicing soccer because the 8-ball says that I should. It's up to you guys to decide what these other messages should say. You can increase this number right here if you want to have more possible messages, or you can decrease it. Let's say I only wanted 5 possibilities. I would type in 4 there because that's 0, 1, 2, 3. Actually, that would only be 3. 0, 1, 2, or 3. That would be 4 possibilities. 0, 1, 2, or 3. So it's up to you to decide how many outcomes you want and what the messages should be. They should, of course, be different. But that is how you make a Magic 8-Ball Simulator. Good luck, everybody.